The SEC on CBS Cruiser has rolled into Baton Rouge. LSU hosting Auburn Saturday at 3:30 Eastern on the Home Depot. SEC on CBS. And joining us now, former Tigers safety Gordy Rush, the sideline reporter for LSU Sports Radio Network. That's why he's still got the letters on his polo. He's also a member of the Louisiana Sports Hall of Fame. All right, Gordy, I know a lot of LSU fans were very upset the way this thing started going, especially after the loss to Troy. What did they prove to you as an eyewitness on that sideline in the swamp this past week over Florida?
Well, I think two things, Adam. First and foremost, that they could play with intensity, and they were the most physical team on the field. They were more physical than Florida. That was not the case against Troy. It certainly wasn't the case against Mississippi State, and that's been a staple of LSU football, the fact that they get after people and they're physical. And secondly, I think for the first time we really saw Matt Canada's offense. I think there was a transition. It was a little bit of Canada's offense he ran at Pitt and a little bit of what I'd call a power spread that LSU ran in the back half of last year. We saw Matt Canada's full offense against Florida, and it was very effective.
Some of those sweeping runs off to the sides. How did you see the sideline reacting? Because they were in front 17-3 for a while there. How did you see the sideline reacting to having suddenly this nice two-touchdown lead before it started to get away from them a little bit? But how did you see the sideline and the vibe change? Because Ed Orgeron's been all about how much more positive it was this past week.
Incredible. Yeah, a definite change from obviously the Troy week. People were buying in, and to see the success of Matt Canada's offense. And we're talking about 10 jet sweeps, all given to wide receivers for 105 yards, including a 30-yard touchdown from Russell Gage. All of a sudden, players start believing in what they saw in spring football. So I think going forward, you're going to continue to see Matt Canada's offense with lots of shifting, lots of motion, and more importantly, LSU is going to force defenses to defend the whole football field.
And all that shifting, all that motion, you usually see that from schools, say, that run a triple option style offense where they don't have the big boys in the trenches. Kind of works out timing-wise with the injuries that it seems the LSU offensive line is dealing with, huh?
Well, you know, on both sides, Adam, when you look at LSU's offensive line, strong possibility that they're going to start 3 true freshmen this week. In fact, Austin Deculus, who finished the game at right tackle, had 37 snaps. The only action that he had gotten prior to the Florida game was mop-up duty against Chattanooga. So he winds up starting against the number 10 team in Auburn. I think they've got 7 scholarship linemen that may be available. This is a team that had 5 scholarship offensive linemen leave the program before fall camp started. So both trenches are really depleted. LSU against Syracuse had 4 scholarship defensive linemen available. So Coach Orgeron, who's a great recruiter, has some work to do in the offseason.
And one of those recruiting pitches is how early in their careers these kids can start for him because of how quickly they're going to need them. To add to the fun in the gumbo in Baton Rouge this weekend, you have Les Miles coming back to celebrate the 10-year anniversary of the national championship in '07. What's the reaction going to be like?
Oh, it's going to be very positive. You know, Les still lives here in Baton Rouge. You know, you can go out and see Les and his wife Kathy at a local burger joint. They're still out there. I think he's really enjoying himself right now. And Les, you know, regardless of how things ended, Les will always be a popular person here in Baton Rouge.
All right, man. Can't wait for the Tigers to tango. We appreciate your time. Gordy Rush, enjoy the game.
Thank you, Adam.
All right, and don't get in Ali LaForce's way. All right, you can see it all unfold on Saturday, the Home Depot SEC on CBS.